Got it.
I'm gonna let you adjust real quick. All right, we're good. All right.
Yeah.
What's good, everyone? Welcome to the Demo Team Podcast. We're here with Shaka D Cakes. How's it going, man?
It's lit. What's up, guys?
It's lit.
We got one of the hardest working drummers / rappers, one of the best people I know in the scene, one of my favorite people. Shaka, thank you so much for coming on the Demo Team Podcast today, dude. It's been a long time coming. I think we've been trying to get you nailed down for a minute here, but I'm super happy that we today, dude.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man, I'm stoked. I'm stoked to be on the Demo Team Podcast. This is your baby, and I've seen you. I've seen both you guys fucking cradle this thing into like a nice, respectable podcast. So I'm really proud of both of you guys. I think it's fucking sick that you guys are continuing to do it. Like, big ups to y'all.
I don't know if I'd say we're respectable, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Man, I think you guys are pretty respectable. I listened to your guys' episode. I heard the Kurt Travis interview.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
It's been about 2 years.
I try to tap in. Like, I think it's so fucked up when people are like, yeah, bro, you're the man, I support you. And then it's like there's no support. Like that'd be kind of jank, dog. Like
oh yeah.
So,
I mean, all you gotta do is download, just start listening, and if you don't like it, just quit listening. It still counts as a listen. So
right. Or turn the volume down and y'all still get the stream.
Just play in your sleep. Just play the whole like all of our episodes in your sleep, or honestly, fall asleep to our episodes. I don't care. Like, there's plenty of podcasts I'll throw on to fall asleep to. In fact, that's probably most of what I listen to.
I try to fall asleep to a murder mystery podcast. Never again. No, sir.
Good. Yeah, that's a good way to induce some anxiety and paranoia. Like, what did I hear? Was that on the podcast, or was that real?
Right. I'm just freaking at my brother's house, freaking like rolling around like, oh.
I think if we want to take it back for people, I think me and Shaka here, I've met him in 2019. I want to say at a dwelling
show. Yep.
Swim Gustavo was opening, and you were doing drums in Swim Gustavo at the time. And I believe, I watched you guys play your set, and it's like, you're one of the most energetic drummers I've ever seen. Like, you are jumping, you're dancing around. And it's like, if anyone that's never seen Swim Gustavo back in the day, like, they have one of the most energetic live sets. Like, everyone's moving, and it's like, even as a drummer where you have to keep the foundation and the beat, like, you still found time to like get down with everybody. And it was just like mad respect, dude. Cause it's like, you not only do you have to rein in like time and stuff, but like you also rein in with energy and shit. So I always had like mad respect for you as a drummer, dude, like without a doubt.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Cause I still I've gotten a lot better since Swing Gustavo on drums, and I still feel like I'm trash. So I really appreciate that.
So humble.
Yeah.
So humble.
Man, it's not even. I so like Steven from In the Background, boy.
Yeah.
Me and Steven have known each other forever, but there was a time I was definitely just better than Steven, and now like Steven could ether me on drums, like. Totally. Like, not even a question. I'd get ethered playing drums. If me and him were in the shed right now, he's coming out 3-0 for sure.
All right, but what about 7? You get one.
I get one.
Get one. All right. 4-1.
Yeah, if it was out of 7, I get one. I get 4-1. Yeah, I get that.
All right. Getting early ones. Keep them on their toes, right?
Yeah, exactly. I have to whip out some old drumline rudiments just so I can. Oh, I know you can't do this, cuz.
Hell yeah, dude. Like, and for those who aren't unfamiliar, Shaka used to play drums for Swim Gustavo. He was on the El Mar Mi Amor album, which is still out there if you're like interested in hearing some of those awesome like drum fills and just awesome like energy that like I feel always translated well into your recordings, and not only just like your drum work, but as your solo work as a rapper as well, which I always love your stuff, dude. Like Thunderbolt, all that shit is like super awesome. And I always felt like your energy always is electric. You're a very charismatic individual with all that you do, whether it be drums or rapping.
Thanks, man. Thank you, man. I don't know. I just remember growing up and I like being so one of my biggest inspirations, and I would never tell him this to his face because his ego would already be going crazy, is my he's my older brother, but he's the middle brother because there's three of us. But my middle brother, I remember being younger and seeing like his passion to be able to play music. And he would, he put me onto a lot of the music that influences like my art. So like Pharrell I didn't know Pharrell made the Noir album, and his Noir album was the first like rap CD that I like snuck out of his room to like listen to because I had a CD player, But even listening to that tape, it like put me kind of, I don't want to say it put me in his headspace because me and him are completely different. Like he's very he's an earthbender. I'd say I'm a earthbender that can bend metal. You know what I'm saying? Like he's an earthbender that can do the multi-rock thing. I'm the earthbender that can move metal, like we're both very, and it's because of the way we were raised. We're both very hard-headed, but at the same time, like just his energy, his skill set, the way he practices, all of those things, that was huge for me growing up, and I'll never ever say it again. I'll never say it to his face. I'm probably not even gonna let him listen to this podcast, but like he's definitely like my music, like musically, he's my hero, like for sure. Like
that's whole
yeah.
hell.
Hey man, like he's for all intents and purposes, he's the GOAT. Like so,
hey man,
and yeah, man.
We should interview him.
You guys should interview him. It'd be effing hilarious.
All right.
Like I'll set it up.
All right, I'm down.
Yeah.
Get part two of Shaka, bring his brother. We figure out how like he like his dedication to the craft kind of like mutated onto you, and then you guys had like kind of like a reflection of that same drive and initiative.
Yeah, and I mean like like I'll never forget when I was younger, and like I didn't really pay attention to it, and I definitely suffered for it at a point. But he's just like, whatever you do musically, just do the best that you can and be the best that you can, So when I'm playing drums and stuff like that, like I like sitting in the pocket and not making a bunch of faces, and like I like playing like that. What the fuck type of sense does that make if I'm in a band called Swim Gustavo and we got Macklin looking like Uma Thurman, slinging all his hair around, and Aldrin screaming and doing all this crazy stuff? It's just like there's so much, like music, it should be an expression of your soul, period. Like
absolutely,
I cannot stand just do music to make money ass. Like I hate that. I hate that.
You gotta get him swimming.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like if you're doing what you love and you're good at it, you'll eventually get paid. And I learned that this year because I'm a very capable rapper. I'm a very capable musician. And when people got to see that, that's when they really started like tapping in with me, which goes back to his advice. Just be the best in your craft, do the best that you can, and you'll get paid. So, hey man, he was spitting.
So it's like, yeah, like without a doubt, like what people should like take from that is like stay dedicated, like stay with it. And like, if you feel like giving up, it's probably because like when the going gets tough, it's like it's gonna get tougher. But if you stick with it and you kind of have that endurance to like carry, just like music's like looking at it as a career, it's definitely a marathon. Like it's not gonna, you can't get into it and be like, okay, a month from now I'm going to be selling like 30,000 records. And it's like, no.
You just gotta take the punches and keep
bob and weave and roll with the punches.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. And I mean like so I moved to Nashville. My landlord sold our house right before a tour, and so I avidly miss California. I do and I don't. Like I get trees, I get nature, I get rain, I get hawks, I get a whole bunch of shit out here that I would never. Well, you could get it in California, but not just where I live. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, there's parts of me that even miss the scene a little bit, and like everybody in the scene knows how I feel about the scene. Y'all are just like, and not all of them. You know what I'm saying? Anamoria was a great band. Gustavo was a great band. Ryan, I forgot the band that you're in, but you're not in it anymore, so it immediately made me not care.
They still had some slammers, man. Stay still.
Stay still. Yeah. Hey, Stay Still did have, and Stay Still has some bangers. Like I'll never take that away from them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a hater, but as far like as the scene goes, like as a whole, like it just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And I appreciate the people that I met Ryan and JoJo through the scene. You know what I'm saying? I met Sam, Aldi. When I was playing bass for In the Background, you know, I met Jason, Chanta, Dylan, like a lot of my really close friends I made in the scene. But
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie. I miss seeing like Joey Holiday tower over us with his vape, just like
yeah, man. I mean, and Joey Holiday, that's another one, man. Like Joey is talented as hell. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. And he can sing his ass off. He's a really, I mean, naturally, just us being in opposing bands, there's always gonna be that like, fuck this nigga, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like aside from that competitiveness, is like Joey is one of the most solid people in the scene musically. Huh. You know, yeah. I don't try to speak on people's character in the scene because I'm just cut from a different cloth. You know what I'm saying? I'm black. I went to church. My parents are from the South. You know what I'm saying? I got beat up by the black and the white kids for having money. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm black. So like I do miss the scene. I do miss California. I miss all that shit. But at the same time, there's that other part where it's like my biggest issue with the scene is you can't grow. Like period. Like you really cannot grow. And there's very, very few bands. Because you know, if you're in the scene, you know every band in the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot like Birds. Shoot, Castle Pines for a little bit. That's like way back in the day. Y'all might not know about Castle Pines.
Yeah, I know.
But like, I know you know, bro. Yeah. But like they're so the scene itself. I feel like it's designed to keep local bands local.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
There was one other guest that I think because me and you had to deal with them, and the only other band that like knows who I'm talking about that came on here was I Set My Friends on Fire, who had to deal with Pirate VIP, who I don't think didn't have anybody's best interest in mind except their own, unfortunately.
Oh no, and if I ever saw somebody from Pirate VIP or whatever, it's on site because they're like Macklin and Sam stopped a lot of me slapping the shit out of niggas. For sure. Because it's like, you know, I'll never forget, I got off of work at Amazon, I had to shoot to the show, and we weren't supposed to play till 9, and they talking about, oh, we're gonna move your set to 8 o'clock. I got on the phone with Macklin, I said, if they make you guys get on stage at 8 o'clock, tell them I'm coming in there and beating everybody's ass. Like, I said, say that word for word. Macklin went and told them, and they were like, we'll see you at 9. And I was like, don't fuck with me and don't fuck with my band. Do not fuck with my band ever. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have killed somebody I'll still kill somebody for any of those 4. You know what I'm saying? Like it's because it's like the brotherhood we established, and that's my issue with the scene is Pirate VIP is probably more of the problem, to be fair to Ryan's point, but everybody, because of that, everybody does the same shit. You know, it's like, we're gonna go play at Malone's, or we're gonna go have a backyard show, and we're gonna do all this stuff. It's like, are you guys reaching people? Are you getting a fan base? Are you know what I'm saying? Like,
just
what are you
playing the same 5 people every time? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was
role playing to all our band friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably were in our bands or gonna be in our bands. So
as much as
like it,
I love,
go ahead.
I love the memories of me and Stay Still with Swim Gustavo and Anna Moria and a marionette playing shows together. But for like 6-7 months, we were like the bands that just kept playing shows, and it was like it was booked and pigeonholed. And it's just like you can't grow an audience booking the same bands together over and over again in the same backyards. And it was just like, I love those shows. Those shows were awesome, but it was the bookers did not have our best interest. They did not have the band's best interest in mind. Like there was it was definitely a rough patch. But I mean, I love those memories. Like so many like good times just out and just having fun and like playing some great shows. It was just like an audience that was not being curated by the best minds in booking at the time.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Like, because that's like the honest God truth what it was. And like what was cool about like Stay Still and like Anna Moria and like all these guys is like we cared about each other, and that was what was important, you know. And that's why those memories aren't bad, and that's why those memories aren't, you know, like faulty or anything like that. Is because like you guys be having a show, you know. Soon Gustavo was like, Stay Still having a show, go see Ryan, but Stay Still having a show. You know, if we were having a show, or even with me and Sam, like when me and Sam started, well, I had been rapping, but I recruited Sam because Sam Cole. And when we started rapping, it was the Anna Moria boys and the Stay Still, well, Ryan and a couple other dudes from Stay Still. But it was those guys who really pushed the scene to like even support us rapping, you know?
Yeah.
Because and I was talking a lot of that good shit too. I was like, I still am the greatest. But you know, I'm like, I'm the greatest, I'm the best. You know what I'm saying? Woo, you know, and I have had to learn how to be a little bit more humble, but you know what I'm saying? I could back it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's, I guess that's my long-winded way of saying I do appreciate like the connections that I made from the scene for sure. I just don't really appreciate the people necessarily that that all of us had to deal with at certain points. You know what I'm saying? And again, if I ever see any of them in real life, like we can lock it up because they probably owe all of us some money. Just facts.
Yeah, it's the friends you made along the way, right?
Exactly.
Without a doubt. Like, dude, Shaka, like I always kick myself because Shaka threw a show for Adventurer in his garage, and it was probably the only time I've showed up to Shaka like rapping with his homies in his garage. I've come to like backyard parties where they're like cosplaying and like anime schoolgirl uniforms. But the show with I was so bummed that one. But it was super awesome that you had Swim Gustavo open up for Adventure in your garage. Like that just like lit as fuck.
Yeah, man. So I mean, that was such a crazy ass show too, man. That shit was crazy, bro. That shit was actually crazy. They actually, I'm gonna just tell you guys a story behind that. So they had a show, and I guess the venue or whatever that they were playing with got canceled. So I just asked my roommates. I was like, "Yo, Adventure's in town from Detroit. Like, you know, and they're recording. Can they stay here and can we throw a show?" They're like, "Yeah." Blake was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Well, will Farewell play too, Blake?" He was like, "Yeah." Tight. Called up the rap homies, called up Rosewood, called up Sam, was like, "Y'all trying to perform?" They're like, "Yeah." That was the best show I've Deluxe 2 is the best show I've ever thrown, but that's the second best show. But before Deluxe 2, that was the best show I've ever thrown, for sure. Like, niggas was drunk, everybody was just feeling themselves. I got laid, so that's always nice, you know.
Damn, you threw the party and got laid. That's a tough one sometimes, for sure.
No.
you gotta regulate, and then you're able to mac too. That's cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, so that and I was actually super bummed Ryan wasn't there because he dog, you would have been going buck wild at that show. Like, you would have been going crazy. You were going crazy. Because I was going buck wild at that show. Adventure was going great. Everybody was just.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would have loved, because I mean, we've had Adventure on the show like a couple times. I love Steven, I love John. Like, those guys are great. Like,
yeah, they're awesome.
And I would have
almost had them sleep at my place recently.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
I almost did, but they're like, nah, we want to go. We're just gonna go to a hotel or whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever.
All right, money bags. No.
I know, exactly. I was like, okay, that's y'all.
It's so great. That's what my I don't know if you remember my I live with my homie Michael Marquez. I believe I took him to a Swim Gustavo show at the Copper Lounge, I think, or was it the Bronze Room, something like that.
The Copper Door.
Yeah, Copper Door. There you go. And I believe we saw you at the Fall of Troy at 1720. I want to say it was Fall of Troy because in the background.
It was Fall of Troy.
Yeah, got to be there for in the background. But
I go to every single one of their shows because three of my very close and best friends are in that band. So I try to make it a point to be at every show.
I love Chunt. Chunt is the shit, dude. I love that dude. But I was the reason why I mentioned my roommate, because you said money bags. Like that's just some insult that we throw at each other sometimes. It's just like fucking all right, money bags.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. Sorry. Some old white woman was staring at me, and I was just like, do we have an issue, ma'am? Like I'm FedEx, I'm cool.
I'm a FedEx driver.
I'm a FedEx driver. Come on.
So shit, we're talking all this fun core stuff, but I definitely want to like touch on your rap career, man. Like everything, like because you were doing that in Swim Gustavo. I don't know if everyone was like privy to it when you were in it. They should have been, because that shit was going out just as fire, like, of course. I mean, I think that's kind of like the thing with everybody in Swim is like everyone kind of had like a side project and something. I mean, Super Saiyan Mac, you know, like we can't forget that. But
Macklin has one of the best. Macklin has one of the best verses of all time, bro. 2 hoes, a mobile suit. I'm out of space. 2 hoes, give me a given face. Come on, Mac.
But how about you touch on that and like how you like, because I know you're no longer in Swim, but how was like the dichotomy from like bouncing 2 projects to kind of just focusing on one? Like how did that transition go about? Like do you feel better now that it's like you're entirely your focus?
Oh yeah, and I mean like I'll always miss being in a band, but like you know I just make my own band, you know like but so not a lot of people know this, and I will make this information now just because I'm not in the band. I was only supposed to be in Son Gustavo for a year. Like I told Macklin very much so. I was like, look, I don't like the scene. I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love your guys' music. Like, it sounds good. And I think if you guys tighten up, you know what I'm saying, you'd definitely be viable, which they did. And they were going there when I was in it, we were going crazy for sure. But like, sorry, someone just texted me. Oh, it's Beezus. Shout out Beezus. But yeah, I told Macklin and Sam straight up, I was like, I'm only gonna be in the band for a year. I was like, you guys have a year, we'll record an album, do these shows or whatever, and then we need to find another drummer. I was like, period. Because I just told him I wanted to rap, you know? I was like, that's it, period. I want to rap. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to make beats. I want to rap. I want to give people, I want to give people like my soul. Just like I was saying earlier, you know, you do everything musically with your soul. So it was, the dichotomy was weird because there'd be times, well, it wasn't weird because I really quickly realized with them, like, oh, I'm, for lack of a better word, I'm the coach of the team now. You know what I'm saying? Because they, and I don't say that to be cocky. I don't say that to be like disrespectful to them, because Mackie was gonna go crazy regardless if I joined the band or not. Joey was already a really solid bassist, you know, and then Sam has got better at singing by the time I had joined, you know, because I'd seen the old videos and stuff. I was like, but you know, everybody was getting better. And then me and Aldrin were basically like a two-piece deal to them, because Aldrin could handle all the business stuff. I can make sure that we sounded good musically. So like, just being honest and transparent, I took a lot away from rapping to make sure that
you took a bigger role than you were expecting.
Yeah, you know, like, yeah. I was expecting to play the drums. Like, I was like, okay, these guys are solid. solid enough musicians, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just got to show up and play the drums. And after the first practice, it was just like, all right, we need discipline. We need to practice. We need to buy metronomes because we're like, we're not that good. We're not that good. You know, just as a band, we're not that good. And so I definitely did let the rap stuff kind of like fall to the anchor, but I was still always working on it. And then when it was time to leave, so after the year, I was like, hey, look, you guys just wrote all these new songs, and Macklin wanted to record an album. So I was like, bet. So like the swim number 2, like that album, like my parts are done. You know what I'm saying? And even though Connor, I don't know if Connor's still playing for them or not. I haven't talked to Macklin in a minute, actually. But and then when Connor joined, you know, it's like, you know, nigga, just play the record. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you guys make some new music, you do your own thing. But as far as this, what we need from you right now, we need you to play the record. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Connor too, dope kid. You know what I'm saying? He's only 20 and he's probably one of the best drummers that I've ever gotten to hear or play with or, you know, chill with and stuff, even though he can be a little cunt. But I mean, I can be a cunt too. Let's be fair. But you know, but yeah, so right. So when I decided, so after, I want to say after a year and like 8 months, I was like, okay, like, hey, find a new drummer. Hey, find a new drummer. Hey, find a new drummer. And then they were kind of lagging, and I understand it. And it wasn't, to me, it didn't come off as disrespectful. It came off as like, hey, you're big bro, and we just don't want you to go. You know? And like, I'll be honest, even when I was leaving, I was like, damn, I'm really like leaving these niggas, bro. I did exactly what I said I was gonna do. I got them to a point. We got their first album out, you know what I'm saying? We did it, and now it's time to go. So being in San Gustavo was, you know, because like me being friends with Macklin, you know, his mom and dad, they treat me like a son, you know what I'm saying? Getting to have a relationship with Sam and meeting his family and all that stuff, and Joey and Mikey, shout out Mikey, that's my guy. But having like those relationships and knowing like, because we got in a really, really big fight. We got in a real big fight during their transitional period, like all of us. And, you know, like there is some things that were said and there is some things that were done that we all got to just take the L for it, you know, because we, in our hearts, we know that we all love each other, but in our emotions and, you know, just the keeping it stabilized, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's like, fuck you. Why are we even doing this? Why are you even in the band? We got to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and we got into it, you know, we all got into it. And then like, you know, just life happens. So, but we're all cool now, you know, like yeah. I still got to tap in with Joey because I know he's still like, me and Joey got in a real big fight. But
that's
yeah,
family.
That's family. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like
even me and Ryan fight.
Family. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Not really that much. It's just like, nah, we don't. I don't even think we really fought that much. Right? Oh.
Yeah, but
also, me and Ryan got a good relationship. But you go on.
Yeah. No, it's cool. But yeah, man, it's just like what I learned, and back to like what was the dichotomy? Like it was like I had to learn how to be, and again, just the dichotomy, like as a rapper, I have the liberty to talk my shit. That's basically what we do. You know what I'm saying? It's like we get on songs and we talk shit. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit more emotional, you know what I'm saying? Talking about live from the bottom of the barrel. I got bad news. I'm not the big smile you're used to. I'll admit I still got a couple screws loose, chips on my shoulder. Sure. You know, like I try to write songs, but at the same time, like the dichotomy was like, hey, in the rap world, like you're the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even if people don't know you're the shit, like you're the shit. In the band world, even if you are the shit, you need to humble yourself for the unit. You know what I'm saying? And that was the dichotomy of it, is again, I could talk all the shit I want in my with rap, you know what I'm saying? I could tell other rappers, hey, you're pretty cool, but you just can't out rap me. But you can't do that in like the scene environment. You can't do that in the band environment. So I definitely learned. I learned how to pull it back and just do what I needed to do, which was get us as a band together, sounding right, and then be in everybody's asses, but not in a way that was demean. Like I used to shit on these niggas, bro. Like especially like in the beginning, because I just wanted them to sound good. You know what I'm saying? It's like these guys asked me to do something, so I want you to sound good. And like I remember like Joey and Macklin specifically, just because they were the younger ones, like they used to be in their feelings a lot. And then I had to take a step back and be like, okay, like you're just being an asshole, Justin. You know what I'm saying? You're being an asshole, Shaka. You gotta chill out, you know. So
yeah.
Learned a lot.
No,
I hope I answered that well.
It's a part of the learning experience. Just like, you know, it's definitely when you get into a band with people, it's like you gotta learn their personality traits, and it's kind of like when you push art that's, you know, emotionally charged, because, you know, Swim Gustavo is post-hardcore. There's a lot of emo lyrics, you know, you got like a lot of feelings and emotions, and like there's a lot of contrasting styles there. So I mean, it definitely worked out to the fact that you guys did release a very solid like album. Like it's an awesome piece, and I still listen to it to this day, man. The lips, the teeth, you know, like I'm still there.
Yeah, Death by Miscommunication is still my favorite thing I've ever played drums on. Like, and it's because I like it was weird. Like the song, like Macklin showed me the song, and I just knew exactly what I needed to do. So, like, I love having that freedom to express myself musically like that. And that was another thing too. They gave me a lot of freedom to express myself, you know, musically. So I love the boys. I love Swim Gustavo, and like just again, like learning to just be humble, like learning. Yes, Shaka, you are the shit. Yes, Shaka, you are talented. Yes, Shaka, you are all these things. Gotta be humble about it.
Like,
I guess you gotta put your dues in, right? Like when it comes to like the scene is like a huge difference, I guess. Like everyone, you can't just be like coming out of nowhere and expecting things to happen. You gotta actually like you gotta work for it.
Without a doubt.
And I'm good at making enemies too, so you know it's good to be humble.
Hey, I mean,
it's a little like pro wrestling sometimes, feuds and stuff, you know, like the greatest animes. You always got to have like that kind of rivalry energy. I mean, that's kind of why people like
that that chip on your shoulder, right?
Exactly. Because
it's a motivator. Like
absolutely.
I think, yeah, with your like solo career, I mean, like you've gone on tour, you've played in front of like packed houses and everything. I mean, there's a reason why you pat yourself on the back. I mean, you've worked very hard to get where you're at, and it's just like you got this new album out now, which is, I mean,
phenomenal. I must say, like it's
truly
a great album.
I didn't even know y'all listened to it, man. That means the world to me, for real.
I mean, we kind of do got to listen to stuff before we interview people, but it was definitely a great listen. Honestly, like this is Mighty Morphin Thunderbolt is definitely like worth a listen, listeners. You should definitely get on that.
Mess with me, y'all.
I obviously just like I love seeing that you're using like the Power Ranger aesthetic, and it's like you know, it's definitely become part of the brand, and just seeing how like it metamorphs from like one album to the next. It's just like it's fun, dude. It's like watching a character grow, you know, like on a TV show or anime or whatever it is. It's up, like right on every release, and it's just like I've watched, listened and watched your collaborations with like J Thoops, who we've had on the show, Go Chef. I mean, it's awesome just to see you continue working up, and that like your top played song is probably like the funniest like wording for a song, Rock Dogs Go to Heaven. I mean,
yeah, I'm working on making that my least popular song. I am, because I appreciate the feature that I do have on there. I really do. And that song, like just being honest, like it opened a ton of doors for me. like getting to work with somebody that had the fan base and had the credentials, more or less, you know what I'm saying, to be like, oh, like he's already there, we just don't know. Like, you know, and I still get DMs from that song, like especially after tour, like their fan base was super mad that me and Rav didn't do that song together, like live. And I just tell them, you know, like, hey man, it's not my tour. It is what it is.
No, like, I mean, you play the song by yourself. I mean, that would just look silly. Like, oh, I'm gonna sing the whole song. You know, he'll be there. Oh, just don't worry, I'll do it. It's just,
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So weird. I perform it live clearly without him, because, you know, I'm spitting, you know, my old chick fucking her new nigga to my shit. It's cost to being degraded. So many bars, like a migrant without the papers, the most hated, underrated, don't ask me why I feel jaded. Like, dog, I'm spitting, like the whole song I'm spitting, you know what I'm saying? Like I love that song, but I hate that song because it's like my whole album is the only thing that eclipses the streams on that song. You know what I'm saying? Versus like I think Green with Evil is just a far superior song than Raw Dogs Go to Heaven. Like, oh, yeah. It's funky, it's turned, I'm still spitting, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's I think Mastodon.
It's also a sick Tommy Oliver reference. I mean, where can you go wrong?
Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? And that the whole Mighty Morphin Thunderbolt album is basically, if they had given me the creative freedom to write the Power Rangers with all the Power Ranger knowledge I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, Ivan Ooze would have been a main character in like the regular series, you know what I'm saying? And that's why,
dude, Ivan that's probably my favorite song off that album. Ivan, that's a good.
Thanks,
that's a
man.
Cool song.
I was definitely in my like, I was just telling on myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I needed a song on the album, especially after like the Green Candle, because it's just like so emotional and so like, woe is me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I needed a song to like let people know, like, hey, look, like I have not always been the most honest. I have not always been the most like I haven't always been myself, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like it was really like Ivan is one of the most important songs to me on that album, because I felt like it was really important to like tell on myself, essentially, you know.
Honesty gets you places, you know, and with an audience and a listener, it's kind of just like, you know, like the arm around the neck, like, stick around, man. I'm here for you.
Amen.
Absolutely. Amen. Yeah, speak from the heart, right? Speak from the soul.
Yeah, man. So
rap from the soul.
From the soul.
So, I mean, not everybody has had the luxury of hanging out with Shaka like I have, but I was gonna say, Shaka, do you want to talk to everybody about your favorite animes? Because I know you're kind of like a big guy.
Or do you want to talk about Power Rangers too a little bit? Because I once did since we were just on that topic, and we'll go to anime, because I was kind of just wondering,
all
from Japan. Yeah, you're right. I was wondering, what's your favorite Power Rangers series or season? Are these seasons or series? I forgot.
My favorite is the original. Like, that's my absolute favorite. Yeah. Fair. It's like me, shout out my cousin Jalen, actually. Me and him used to watch, he had the White Ranger, the White Light like series for the show. He had it on the cassette. So we would jump off the bunk beds doing like flying ninja kicks and stuff while we were watching Power Rangers, you know what I'm saying? So I hold that memory very dear, because he's still one of my best friends, you know. But Mighty Morphin is my favorite. I think the best one though is Power Rangers Ninja Storm. I think they did the best with that. And because it was edgy, but it was still cheesy. And that's what I love about Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like the cheese, you know what I'm saying? It's like, they're literally out here like stomping people out.
They're dubbing
you know
a Japanese show.
Yeah, like it's a dub of a Japanese show. And the Japanese version of Power Rangers, like especially the older ones, dog, like Shibuku Sentai O Ranger is violent. The original I want to say is 1984. it's a Super Sentai series with like everybody was like a bird theme. The Black Ranger dies. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, he's not actually black. Like, he's Japanese, but his color was black. But he dies. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, it like I'm a fan of the cheese, but like, you know, clearly the originals, like, they're Japanese. They're violent. You know what I'm saying? They're doing their thing. But like the American version of it just makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? It makes me happy. I love seeing them transform. I love
the Zords,
the Zords, the fake sparks. Like
fake sparks. That's like definitely.
I saw Rita Repulsa's like the actual actress that played Rita Repulsa when she was younger. She fire, boy. she's like, you know what I'm saying? She was one of my crushes. She was one of my her and RIP Trini, like they're like two of my biggest crushes as a kid. So, and everybody had a crush on Kimberly. And Amy Jo Johnson is still so fire. Oh my gosh, I can't. Dude, she's so. Forgive me, Lord. Had a little moment there. It's getting a little hot in here. But like, yeah.
I mean, I ask.
Crush, dude.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, even before I even understood all that, I was like, yeah, these are.
This makes.
I'm glad we're on the same page here.
I remember right before we started this podcast, I did a giant like survey and Swan posting about what their favorite Power Ranger series was, just because I used to just post random shit in there, like just like the stupidest like bullshit, and like I don't know. So this kind of feels like I'm coming full circle, getting to talk about your favorite Power Ranger series. So
yeah,
I love the.
Okay, no, sorry, I was like, why are the?
But I mean, I think that's kind of like what you're saying with like the cheesiness. I think even Jason David Frank, the guy who plays the Green Ranger and the, you know, White Ranger, Black Ranger, Red Ranger, he played a bunch of Rangers, but even he said like it's cheesy, it's corny, but it's like, who doesn't like buttery corn cob? Who doesn't like mac and cheese? Like it's good because it's not, you know, it doesn't have to.
Yeah. Good because it's not good.
It's fun. I mean, it's good.
Well, that's why we're interviewing you on She-Hulk Wednesday.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got a tweet about that too. I actually really like that show. It's not.
I like it. It's like very cheesy and corny and silly, but like I think it's like actually probably one of the best ones they've made.
Yeah, and I feel like when they put her in, because like she's gonna be in the MCU with Daredevil. That's the rumor. Like they're gonna put our Netflix Daredevil, our Netflix Luke Cage, and all those guys in the movies and stuff. And I'm like, the way they do her show is solid, because when it's time for serious moments and stuff like that, like us as viewers will be way more hyped for her to punch someone in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like when that happens, we're about to be
absolutely.
Like, to the club.
It's like I think it's the right tone for that kind of show, for like a Disney Plus show. If you're like not going to put all the effort into it, you might as well like make a sitcom, because
have fun.
It's like that's so much more forgivable than trying to do prestige television half-assed. So
facts, because even so Jessica Jones is my least favorite of the. Let me take that back. Iron Fist is my least favorite of the Defenders. Like the series that was for the series that were on Netflix and stuff. And it's because like Iron Fist is one of like the hardest characters in the comic books, like period. Iron Fist has beat up a lot of people that he should not have been able to beat up. You know what I'm saying?
He got that. Like he really about that action. And it was crazy. Like it was crazy to me when I see the show and it's like they basically ripped off Arrow, and just instead of him being able to shoot arrows, he has a glowing fist, punch people in the face. Like I wasn't into the whole like rich kid marooned on an island, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just not, like, it's been done, and they could have done so much more with that series. But I mean, I don't work for these niggas, bro.
Shining finger.
Golden finger. That's G Gun. That's my favorite. Okay,
dude, that's I think all three of us are G Gundam fans. Then
we got to talk about anime. Also, guys, I am gonna have to cut this like maybe 10-15 minutes short, and it's only because I still got like a little bit of work that I got to finish up. Like I hate to do.
it's been explosively like jam-packed with awesome content this whole time.
Absolutely.
Like we're
Okay,
barely
yeah.
but like this is good. I think it's a solid episode without a doubt.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I think it's going to be really good
we
for
could
you
do a
too.
part two.
Oh
We
yeah,
could do
for
a part
sure.
two.
We'll do a part
yeah,
two.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, back to where we were at, nigga. So my old manager from Regal, I used to work at the movies or whatever, but my old manager, his name was Troy P. Fong, one of the greatest of all time. That's it's my senpai in this anime game, right? He put me on to so much. And when I told him my favorite anime was G Gundam, he gave me his limited edition, like the original DVDs, not the Blu-ray re-release, but he gave me the original DVD box set of all the seasons. Dog, I almost broke into tears. Like I almost broke into real physical tears. Cause G Gundam, like for me, besides like Dragon Ball Z, that was my introduction into anime. Like that was like where it all started long ago on a couch in Corona, California. But like Domo, like it's kind of crazy. Like I was watching the show maybe like a week and a half ago because I still like I'll just turn it on sometimes, you know, just so I could see. Even though Gundam Mexico was hella racist, I did not.
Yeah,
like that.
It was. That was like the
Gundam
most
Mexico
racist
was hella racist. Yeah,
fucking sombrero in space.
And they were more racially sensitive to like the African Gundam and the and like, you know, France. Basically everybody and like dude,
like Indonesian Gundam was like
right. And, like all of their Gundams were very like respectable, you know what I'm saying? Versus the Mexican Gundam has a sombrero, like we gotta do better. Like
there's a lot of unfortunate stereotyping in that show, but I mean at the same time that show's still fire though. Like they still
absolutely
yeah.
Like I wasn't that big into Dragon Ball Z, I'll admit, when I was a kid, but like G Gundam, like I watched that every fucking day it was on, like on Toonami. Like that was mine.
And dude, like I think a big reason that I love music too is because of that show, because I like Power Rangers, like that's what got me into rock and roll for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like just
those
rock,
theme songs, those guitar solos during the fights.
Right. Like they're literally just doing taps and playing. Like that was the whole thing that got me into rock. And then G Gundam, it's the theatrics of that like G Gundam taught me like the theatrics of music, because and both of y'all know what I'm talking about. Domon Kashu's getting beat up, getting beat bad, arm all electrocuted, busted or whatever. And then Rain just calls out to him, you know what I'm saying? Because she's in trouble.
Domon!
Like, Domon! Yeah, exactly. And then
name.
Yeah. And then my favorite part about it is there's a very brief moment of silence, dialogue. Dun 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 dun. Like dog. Oh my gosh. It like serotonin overload.
I feel like G Gundam definitely was geared more towards like the enemy of the week kind of like. I feel like it's more in tune with Power Rangers than like Gundam Wing was, where Gundam Wing was kind of like a drama. Yeah. Gundam Wing.
That's another one I watched to fall asleep to.
Yeah, Gundam Wing, like, and I don't want to take away from the young hero UA, you know what I'm saying? Because it does have its place. I mean,
it's good,
but it's my least favorite.
Yeah, I do love least favorite. But I mean, there was a lot of like, it felt like filler the show sometimes, just a lot of like politic talk, and I know that's like just, what Gundam.
It's all intrigue and like conspiracy and whatnot,
right?
Yeah.
G Gundam had like it was just like, who we fighting this week? Like what
exactly.
Well, we
you get a tournament arc, you get a training arc, or whatever. It's like it's awesome. And then Master Asia, switches sides, yeah.
But
it'd be your own friends, always switching up.
I rewatched it all in like 2017 and 2018, and it was like all on YouTube too, because I couldn't find it anywhere else. Yeah.
Best are
Iron Blooded Orphans though, solid second place for me. The first season, second season was a little convoluted. Like I understand what they were trying to do, but it was just kind of like, it was just weird. It was weird to me. It's the second season. And I'm happy that they killed everybody in the second season. Like I'm not gonna cap, you know, because it's like I don't think I could have done a season 3 of Iron Blooded Orphans and the first season still be like, hey, like I enjoyed the first season of the show because Orga, Mikazuki, August, Biscuit, Akihiro, like that lineup as a cast is really enjoyable to watch because it's like if they were trying to portray like kids that are affected by war and the things that they have to do, season 1, nail on the head or hammer on the nail head, you know, whatever. So yeah.
Hell yeah. But are we taking up any more of your time? Do you want to get back to what you're doing? Like we don't want to.
Y'all got a couple more questions.
Oh hell yeah!
All right.
So like with you like focusing on like rap now, like do you ever see yourself maybe down the line ever returning to like rock music or doing anything like with your solo stuff that's like rock oriented? Any new metal with Shaka?
I mean, my last album's a rock. For all intents and purposes, it's a rock album. You know, I'm a classic rock and roll person. So that was the rock and roll, like, and no offense to any new metal, no offense to any alternative artists and things like that or pop punk, but classic rock was pop music and it was musical. You know what I'm saying? Like Jump by Eddie Van Halen, that song is literally it's the only reason it's a rock song is because it's Eddie Van Halen. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only reason. So when people were like, you know, like, man, are you ever gonna do like rock and roll music again? It's like it's a part of my identity. You know what I'm saying? I listened to Jimi Hendrix before I listened to Jay-Z. I listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan before I listened to Lil Wayne. I actually used to hate Lil Wayne. Now I really appreciate what he does for the music and art and things like that. But like, yeah, it's again, Power Rangers was my introduction to rock and roll music. So like when I make albums, and on a very hyper political level, and this is not to dissuade anybody, Black people invented rock and roll. What the fuck do I look like not, you know, utilizing that shit?
Absolutely.
That's crazy to me. You know, it was crazy to me when I was growing up and other Black kids would be like, oh, you listen to white boy music. And it's like, I knew like Muddy Water, BB King,
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry, thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking of too. Is Chuck Berry and like Buddy Guy, like all of those guys, like yeah, they play blues, but their blues was technically rock and roll before people were like, oh no, that's blues.
I mean, like fucking Little Richard, like everyone copied Little Richard.
Right, like Little Richard, like it's some of his most popular songs are 12-bar blues patterns, but they call it pop music. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and to be fair, you see a lot more Black artists, especially in hip hop, embracing it. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll do this. Shout out to Hollows and shout out to Usagi the Guardian. Like they scream. Like I have a song with Usagi, and literally, I'm screaming ISO, 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 and he's doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because it's like hip hop and rock and roll, it's the same. We as a culture and, you know, we as Americans, though, we took that and tried to like separate the two, if that makes sense. You know, that's why Rage Against the Machine works, because it's not a rock band it's not a rock band with a rapper. It's Black music on top of Black music. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
I mean,
like,
and like rap came out of rock music, whether, I mean, we can act like it's not, but it's like, it was all like the music for the last 50 years that's like popular is all very much or like more than 50 years, the last 100 back to jazz, basically, is all related to each other.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and even jazz, like if a jazz player turns on a little bit of distortion, even on a jazz song, and they start soloing, it sounds like a metal song because they're doing arpeggios.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? They're doing arpeggios, they're walking all up and down the scales, they're doing taps, they're doing all of these things. And if you just a little bit of distortion in a jazz song, and it's like, these niggas are metal af. Thundercat is a excellent example. Like, bro, they play jazz music. He clicks the distortion pedal on his bass guitar. you know what I'm saying, and start soloing, and it's like, this is metal as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So like, so as far as like, you know, do I ever see myself down the line doing like more new metal and rock stuff? Go listen to Goodbye Rita. You know, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a per putting it in a box, it's a new metal song. But to me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a rock song. It has soul elements to it because, you know, I'm playing the bass and it's drippy, you know what I'm saying? And I'm rapping on it. It's a rock song, you know what I'm saying? Ivan, Green Candle, Cash App, like all of those are rock songs, you know? So I think, to answer your question, I know I went on a little tangent, but like I'll like rock, hip hop, jazz, it's all just music.
I think also I was like trying to dig and see if you're doing any more collabs with J Thoobs.
Oh, you should just ask that. If Thoobs calls me and tells me he wants a verse, Thoobs has the verse anytime. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm being honest and transparent, if Sam, Macklin, Aldrin, and Joey all moved to Tennessee, I'd be in Swim again.
Ooh. Get like, that moving.
Yeah, because to me, like, they're just the only band, and this is me again. I'm not trying to start no beef with nobody, but again, all you see niggas get beat up, like, you know. But like, besides, I want to say Anna Moria and In the Background, Swim Gustavo was like the best band in the scene. Period. Like, and I'll stand on that. And anybody can come up to me and try to argue that point, and I'll be like, name somebody that does anything that Macklin can do. That's not fucking Sergio. You know what I'm saying? you know, that's not Sergio. Or name any drummer in the scene that, besides Steven Taylor, that could do what I was doing. Can't. You know, name anybody that could write as well as Darnell and Anna Moria. You can't. We were the three best bands. Stay Still, I'm gonna be honest. Y'all were a tough fourth place, a very tough fourth place. And it wasn't even because you guys made bad music, it's because you guys weren't as tight as you could have been. And that was your drummer's fault. You know what I'm saying? But the guitars, the vocals, you know what I'm saying? They were all on.
And to anyone that's listening, that's our old drummer, not the one. I mean, I think he's gone now, Xavier. But Xavier was awesome. I really like. He was
Xavier was gas, nigga. I was like, oh, they about to be coming up with Xavier. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's like Swim Gustavo. Like, we, as a unit, were that good. You know what I'm saying? To where I would say there's only two bands ahead of us, and even them being ahead of us, like, I take responsibility for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I shed more and I get better, the band gets better, period. I'm the drummer. You know what I'm saying? And Steven was just out shedding me. And even with Darnell, like, Darnell, to me, songwriting beats Macklin this much. Like, literally this much. And it's because Darnell's just it, bro. Like, Darnell understands what it is to write parts. He gets like the conductor sense of music. You know what I'm saying? So
and he's got those sick dance moves, dude. Like, he's
that boy looked like he having a goddamn seizure.
That was one of the first things we ever talked about. I was like, dude, this guy likes the Mars Volta or At the Drive-In or something. And you were like, and then we were like,
that was one of the first things. We're like, dude, it's fucking Super Omar vibes. Yeah.
At the Drive-In, Mars Volta, bringing friends together, man. And it's always been an honor to know you, and it's always like great catching up, dude. I've been smiling this whole time. It's always great catching up with you, Shaka.
Dog, I love you to death, bro. And I honestly, dude, I'm proud of everything you're doing. I pay attention to everything that you are doing. Like, I just want you to know that. Like, so even if I'm not super vocal, even if I'm doing my own thing, just know, like, one, you can call me anytime. I know you still got my number. Two, like, dog, like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of both of you. Because again, I remember Ryan when you were like, I'm gonna start a podcast. And I was like, whatever, nigga. And then you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm such more of a show me, you can show me better than you can tell me person. You know what I'm saying? So You know, that's like, I'm proud of both of you guys for continuing to do this. I'm proud of both of you guys for continuing to put on, you know, artists that people might not be familiar with. And I promise you, if you guys just stay consistent in the next 6 months to a year, like, yeah.
Oh, we got some things planned for sure. Or at least we're planning on planning them. But hey, you know, it's been a pleasure meeting you, man. This was an awesome interview. Like,
yeah, we'll definitely get a part 2.
We gotta meet up sometime. Like this is like, if you ever come through Dallas, hit me up, man. I would love to come see your show, bro.
Hell yeah, man. I'm trying to get some things popping. Also, Deluxe 3 is gonna be in Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's all I got to say about that. So I'm trying to get a conjoined show with the Adventurer Boys and some artists out in Michigan and stuff like that. But I want, you know, I just want to let people know, like, we're always working. We got merch coming soon. Please continue to stream my album, Mighty Morphin Thunderbolt. Like, it's as much as my soul as I could have given you at that point. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that everybody really enjoys it. And I hope that, you know, again, I just appreciate you guys finally fucking put me on the demo team podcast. I'm like, damn,
right? Like, what were you waiting for, man?
Right. I'm like, y'all got everybody ahead of me. Shit. Y'all got goddamn Elmo in front of me. Shit.
I honestly
trying to win.
I'd be like, hey, let's do it this day. And then like we'd hit up that day and then it just didn't like swim out. And it's just like, it's unfortunate. But I'm like honestly glad that you're honestly here. Like finally, I feel like we built an audience enough that where people can appreciate the fuck out of Shaka D Cakes. Cause
absolutely
get as much eyes on you as possible, man. Cause like you are a one in a lifetime time of a talent. Like people just need to put them on.
Mighty Morphin Thunderbolt. Great.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I will say this to both you guys, and then I for real got to shake. But I appreciate everything that both of you just said. But my goal in life, and again, this is the last thing I want to say, and I want to leave it on this note for a very specific reason. And again, you guys are talking to me, you're getting to see my personality and stuff like that, so you know I'm a pretty chill guy. But for everybody else listening, if the only thing that you guys ever remember about me is my music and not my relationship with God or how I treated people, I don't want you to remember me at all. Like, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a Christian. I know it turns a lot of people off. Who cares? But like, I have a heart for God. I have a heart for people. And again, if music is the only thing that, and again, you guys have been gassing me up about way more than music. I appreciate it. Like, I didn't even know it was this cool. But like, just for everybody else listening, like tap in with me as the person, and everything else will just get multiplied. I think Ryan really enjoys my album. I think Cash is going to be able to listen to the album now with a whole new set of ears because of Justin Nicholas Martin, not because of Shaka D Cakes. You know what I'm saying? So that's the last thing I want to impart to y'all is like everybody listening, like, music is not the end all be all, but I'm gonna make the shit out of it, and y'all gonna fuck with it because Justin said so. So fuck with it.
I'll fuck with it. That's a great way to end it for sure.
Yeah, everybody support the Thunder Tribe, honestly, because it never dies. It's a great little coalition of people, and it's got great people like Shaka D Cakes. Like,
shout out Sam, shout out Usagi, shout out Hollow, shout out K Mish, shout out Go Shaft.
Hell yeah. Can't forget all Quit. I miss that dude so much. It sucks now if I go back to California, there's no Shaka, there's no Quitting. Like, it's sad. What's the point of going?
I'll call you the next time I fly out there, and I'll just drive. You can meet me at the border, or we can go to Sam's house in San Diego. Like, well, let me ask him before I just start inviting niggas over to his house. But yeah, like we can make it a thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Also, we might be able to continue the interview. Tell me if you guys can hear me. Can you hear that?
A little bit, but I mean, whatever. Okay, we've had way more like noisy stuff happen, so.
Okay,
yeah, we want to work and handle your business, man. I think we got a great ass interview, and I think everyone not only are you a hard worker at music, you're a hard worker in life, and that's the skill and determination that just translates into the musical vibe that you put out.
Absolutely. Drop your socials too before you leave.
You can follow me. I love how when people see this on. Are you guys saving the video too?
Oh, for sure.
This is gonna be fucking awesome. This is the best. Okay. So my @ is @ Shaka D Cakes on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook, I'm just my regular name, so there's that. And then follow me on TikTok, Shaka D Cakes. Follow me on, I think that's all my socials: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So follow me there. Oh, and join my Discord, the Cakes Club. So,
Cakes Club.
The Cakes Club, yeah. I drop demos in there. I drop little jam sessions I have with myself in there. You know, I let people show me their music. They ask for advice. I give it to them. If they don't, I just say, hey, sounds good, man. Keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, you know, like that's it. That's all I got.
All right.
I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Please support Shaka D Cakes. The dude's awesome. Cash, do you have anything you want to impart upon our audience before we depart?
I have nothing to impart. But you know, support Shaka, Ghost, and Mighty Morphin Thunderbolt, all his music. Go get him those Fractions of Cents on Spotify.
Amen.
And yeah, I mean, we're grinding this week. We'll probably, I guess we're gonna have well, I mean, this is gonna be out by the time the episode we're dropping tomorrow is out, or it might come out today. But yeah, we got like a bunch of episodes in the hole right now, so stick with us.
Stick with us. We got tons of good stuff. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, homie. I will. I love you, both of you guys, Cash. It was a pleasure meeting you, dog. I'm gonna tap in with you soon, man. Hell yeah. All right, y'all. Peace out.
Peace out.
Awesome job, Cash. Awesome job, Shaka.